Paris Hilton's $15 billion scandal. How she fooled the world. Everyone is shocked by Paris Hilton's $15 billion scandal. But what's the real story behind how she supposedly lied to everyone? Discover the shocking details of this scandalous case and learn how Hilton's business company may have pulled off one of the biggest lies in recent history. Are you ready to find out the truth? She is the grandchild of one of the most influential families in the world. Despite the fact that her grandpa disinherited her from the $15.4 billion family fortune as a result of her scandal, she managed to fool the world with her intelligent blonde character and build a business portfolio worth $300 million. Paris Hilton has a life that is nothing short of bizarre. Paris Hilton is the great-granddaughter of Conrad Hilton, who is the founder of the Hilton Hotel Network. Conrad Hilton is also the inventor of the Hilton Hotel Company. Despite the fact that Conrad amassed a fortune of $1 billion, Paris was never given a single dime of that inheritance. In spite of the fact that he left his children gifts in his will that ranged from $50,000 to $100,000, he did not leave any shares in Hilton, and his son, Baron, was extremely angry with Paris. Despite the fact that Hilton is worth $300 million, her family has not profited from her fortune since she became famous. This is how she ended up costing them $4.5 billion, which is a huge amount when taking into consideration the history of the fortune that the Hilton family has amassed. Her great-grandfather, Conrad Hilton, who was born in 1887 and passed away in 1979, is the first person to be mentioned in this narrative. The fortune that he left to his 4 children included Paris's grandfather, Baron Hilton, who is depicted here with her. He also gave his fortune to his other children. In terms of personality, the Baron Hilton was a more conventional type of person who was well versed in Paris. Following the passing of Hilton's father, Conrad, Hilton's son, Baron, contested his father's will in court for a period of 10 years, while stamping his feet for support. After everything was said and done, Baron was given 4 million shares of Hilton. As time went on, Hilton became a source of shame. After that, he isolated everyone from the issue. And this story contains a great lot of irony because of his subsequent actions. The Hilton family fortune grew to a massive $4.5 billion in the hands of Baron Hilton. But when Baron saw his granddaughter Paris in tabloids and on reality TV shows, he decided to send a message where he was personally insulted by the show The Simple Life, depicting his grandchildren idiots, where he was disgusted by the leak of her 2005 word, "I can't say," on TikTok video, felt how she was parroted in the media by characters like London. The suggestion to completely eradicate his legacy. As a result of the events that took place in Paris in 2007, he made the choice to disinherit his entire family. At the time of his dying, he left 97% of his money to organizations that support humanitarian causes, so far as charitable giving is concerned. In accordance with his recently revised estate plan, Baron Hilton has made the choice to donate 97% of his wealth to many philanthropic organizations. In the amended proposal, neither Paris's father nor her siblings were included, and the remaining 3% was divided into 24 equal halves based on their respective proportions. If Paris had been included in the 3%, she would have been entitled to a total of $5.4 million. However, because she was regarded as the new family shame, she was not included in any part of the inheritance, not even in her father's legacy. When the figure of 3% was taken into consideration, the total value of $135 million was obtained. The time she spent stamping her feet was not wasted. Rather, she amassed a net worth of $300 million over the course of her life. There are a lot of people who are under the impression that Paris Hilton was just given all of this money. However, the truth is that when her grandfather passed away, he donated the majority of his fortune to a foundation and completely omitted Paris and her siblings from the will. What Paris Hilton would say is that she is living and she is actually well on her way to becoming a millionaire. Paris Hilton, on the other hand, is the great-granddaughter of Conrad Hilton, the man who established the Hilton Hotel Companies. $1 billion was the amount of wealth that he had at the time of his passing. On the other side, Paris was developing into a socialite in the beginning of the 2000s, a term that is today associated with the term influencer. As a consequence of this, she was the first person to exert influence throughout the beginning. She was involved in a wide range of business activities from time to time. She was meticulously constructing an image for herself, and she was a mainstay in the tabloids during the early 2000s. Not only did she possess the iconic recording, but she was also a regular face in the tabloids. Her promotion of herself as the Jumblon and the Hollywood girl was done with the intention of making it easier for things to be introduced to the market. It is estimated that she makes roughly $10 million annually from her 19 different product lines. Even though Paris generated millions of dollars on her own through perfume lines, novels, and reality shows, Paris did not steal money from her trust fund. The majority of people are of the opinion that you are not the wealthy heiress to the Hilton hotel. Do you believe that you are under the notion that this is a misunderstanding? To put it succinctly, yes. I have been successful in all that I have done on my own. My entire family has never been the victim of theft since I was 17 years old. I have never taken anything from them. Nevertheless, your mother and father are affluent and successful, and the reason they are able to achieve such a level of success is because they own a real estate company. It is true that my grandfather always instilled in me, from my great-grandfather to my grandfather, that the hard work ethic that things aren't just going to be handed to you, and then he passed it on to my father and to my sister and brothers, that this is something that is so important when it comes to raising a child, because you can give them everything, but you will just destroy them and spoil them. Therefore, I believe that this is something that is so important, due to the fact that I do not believe that I would have been able to become the successful businesswoman that I am today. I consider myself to be tremendously fortunate to having been brought up in such a manner. Paris has amassed a net worth of more than $300 million as a consequence of all of the side hustles that she has engaged in. And it is anticipated that this figure will climb as a result of a new program that will be available on Netflix, as well as brand partnerships that are forthcoming. On the occasion that she was a Hilton, it would have appeared as though the entire world had been bestowed upon her. Despite the fact that there is no doubt that it gave her advantage, the majority of people jump to that conclusion. This is because they do not understand the situation. The treatment of male heirs in wealthy households is observed to be significantly different from that of female heirs, which is a considerable gap that can be observed. A financial awareness is not something that is required of female heirs, as this is not expected of them. When it comes to the role that women should play in matters pertaining to finances, the majority of wealthy households maintain attitudes that are extremely conservative. The fact that their daughter is unable to comprehend ideas related to finances does not bother them in the least. They are not given any instructions. They are only concerned about the possibility that they will marry guys who are involved in gold mining. And when considered in this context, the achievements that Paris has achieved as an entrepreneur are even more remarkable. Don't miss out on the latest revelations and breaking news. Subscribe now to stay updated with all the shocking stories and insider scoops.